Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Crown and today we are going to have some more stories that I hope that you will enjoy. But before we start, it would be so much appreciated if you would subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it, and maybe leave a comment down below. These simple clicks would mean a lot to the future of this channel and really reward the effort that I put in every day. And now, without further ado, let's go! Okay, so this just happened to me a few hours ago and it stands as the biggest what the hell moment in my job. Little bit of background. I work as a contracted cell phone technician for a large superstore chain in my country. My job duties entail selling/activating phones and assisting guests with technical issues with their phones. Due to me being a private contractor, I don't answer to any management staff or employees for the superstore, and I'm essentially my own boss. On top of this, I do have a right to decline service to anyone. However, I never do because I don't want to turn people away just because they are having a bad day. But after what happened today, I'm going to enact my right to do so for any future encounters. So today I was minding my own business when I was approached by the mythical Omega Karen. Karen was a 65-year-old woman who had what looked to be about 4 layers of makeup on her face and a beehive haircut so big she looked like she had a basketball underneath. Her hair looked like an Omega symbol too, hence why I call her Omega Karen. She explained to me that her phone wasn't working. Being the ever so helpful person that I am, I go to work in diagnosing the problem. After doing a quick inspection and tinkering around with the phone, I came to the conclusion that the phone was pricked. I informed the Karen of this revelation.
So what do we do now?
Well, ma'am, unfortunately the best course of action will be to replace the phone. Luckily, I had the same phone on sale for like $49.99.
I'm not buying the phone. I bought the phone from here, so I want it exchanged.
Okay, ma'am, do you have the receipt for the old phone? This is when she went from a nice old lady to Omega level Karen.
Okay, listen here, you stupid jerk. I bought this phone almost a year ago. I don't have the receipt. I bought it here and it's now defective. Your company has to honor the guest and replace this broken phone free of charge.
I soon realized that this was going to be a crap show, so I decided to try and Tai Chi the situation in an attempt to mitigate damage. Okay, ma'am, I understand that you are frustrated, but unfortunately due to the store's policy, we cannot do any exchanges after 30 days of purchase. After the words left my mouth, I realized that I screw up, and she was ready to retaliate.
Nonsense! You're just trying to Jew me out of $50. I'm not having that. It's not my fault that it's a cheap piece of crap. If anything, it's your fault it's broken.
All my wants were expended after hearing this. She actually was blaming me, a guy she's never seen before, of breaking like her own phone. Ma'am, I'm sorry, but there is honestly nothing the store can do for you. However, because you bought the phone less than a year ago, the warranty should still be replaceable through the carrier warranty. I will be happy to call. She interrupted me by picking up my stapler and threatened me with it.
You will give me a phone right now or I swear to God I will throw this at your head.
Ma'am, threatening me is not going to solve your problem. Now, as I was saying, I can call up the carrier and see if they can replace it under their warranty. Karen threw the stapler to the ground, breaking it, angrily grabbed her broken phone, told me to go screw myself, and stormed off. After she left, I picked up the stapler and threw it out. I then continued with the next guest. Now, I wish it all ended here, but unfortunately not. About 5 minutes after she stormed off, she returned, but she wasn't alone. Karen did what every Karen dreams of doing, and got the store manager. And it wasn't just him, but the security guy as well. The store manager says, "Hey Darius, this woman has informed me that you want to assist her with her phone. Mind telling me why?" I explained the situation to the store manager, who was looking like he was about to hit me. He then interrupted me by saying, "Okay, and at what point did you throw a stapler at her?" I was confused until it finally dawned on me. The person who threatened me was trying to frame me for assault over a $50 flip phone. I tell him I never did that. In fact, she was the one who threatened me with a stapler. And she interrupted me again.
Nonsense! You threw a stapler at me telling me that you were going to choke the life out of me. I want this man arrested for assault.
Then the security guy approached me. Darius, is there any way you can back up your story? Well, you can check the cameras. They most likely caught the whole interaction. As soon as I said the word camera, Karen went ballistic.
How dare you believe this punk over me? You should feel ashamed of yourself. Ashamed.
Ma'am, we need to make sure to get the full details of the event so we can better explain it to the authorities.
I don't want to wait for the police. Just fire him and get me someone who can help me.
Ma'am, you just said that you wanted him arrested.
Stop putting words in my mouth, young man. Just fire this jerk.
And this is when the store manager finally pipes up and tells her the bad news. Unfortunately, ma'am, he's a private contractor that handles our phones. We cannot fire him because he doesn't work for our company. Now, if he did what you said he did, it would be best to get video proof. That way we can escort him off the property. Karen relented and agreed to look at the footage. All four of us went to the security room to roll back the tape. And as soon as we got to the part where she grabbed the stapler and held it up, Karen started screaming.
This is nonsense. All of you are in on it. I'm going to sue you all for tampering with evidence. I will see you all in court.
As she began to walk to the door, she noticed me smiling, and I soon regretted doing this. Karen smacked me across the face and spat at me. Luckily, the security guard heard the slap and quickly subdued her. After a quick call to the cops, she was handcuffed and put in the back of a squad car. The police asked if I wanted to press charges, and all I took was one good look at her for me to say yes. Once I got done with the paperwork, the store manager apologized to me for what had happened. He informed me that Karen was blacklisted and is to be arrested on site if she's to come back to the store. I am currently writing this, laughing at the whole situation. So this happened to my friend last night and he was so angry about it because it made him late to Dungeons and Dragons night with us. I wouldn't have believed this story if I just read it here, but now I'll believe a lot more of those far-fetched stories. Be prepared for a wild ride. My friend is a cashier at a gas station in our smaller Montana town. It's still a bigger city for Montana, but I grew up in Charlotte, so comparatively speaking, it's a small town. The cast of the story: Jay, my friend, Karen, duh, the cop, the sheriff, the manager, and the shift lead. So Jay had got asked to show up early for his shift to help cover, which he did. Right when it's getting close to his time to leave, the shift lead had to go take a call from the corporate since the manager was off. Right after the shift lead leaves, a bus load of teens gets dropped off, and he didn't want to screw over the other guy and leave him all alone, so he was going to stay to help knock out the herd. One of the herd asks for some tobacco product and Jay asks for his ID, and he says he must have forgotten it, when suddenly a wild Karen appears and cuts the line. She was holding two 20-ounce Coke bottles she had found in a 1-liter cooler and wanted the drinks for free because they were in the wrong place. My friend, being on a now 10-hour shift, was getting fed up and tried to explain no nicely until she started getting witchy about it. So he just straight up tells her, heck no, you aren't getting those for free because someone else put them in the wrong cooler instead of putting them back. Shocked Pikachu face from Karen.
How dare you? I'm in here all the time, man.
No, you're not. You're not here all the time, and I have never seen you here before. So leave. Karen then storms out and Jay directs his attention back to no ID tobacco guy. So, do you have that ID? The guy says no and just leaves. Next person needed to prepay for gas, so Jay looked out the window to check to make sure money was going to the right bum. And that's when he notices Karen's car producing white smoke. Karen comes storming in demanding to use her phone. Jay allows it because he assumed she was going to call a tow truck or someone to pick her up. She calls the cops and says that Jay destroyed her car and assaulted her and tried to kill her. Cop arrives and takes statements. Jay goes and gets the shift lead and says that cops need to see the tapes. The shift lead has to end the call with the corporate now for this. The video shows that a guy who was in Karen's car got out trying to fix something in the engine
then got back in the car. Then Karen goes out and the car is crewed. Karen demands a manager and Jay has to call him in. The cop calls for backup as Karen is raving at the mouse mad, claiming that he somehow did it because Jay wouldn't sell her drinks. The backup was a sheriff and an ambulance to check to see if she was on something. Somehow she was clean. Sheriff asks Jay if he would like to press charges on Karen, to which he said yes, and as many charges as he could think of that were relevant. At this point he was stuck at work 3 hours past when we supposed to have been off. Karen gets forced out by the first cop and the sheriff asks Jay to come down to the station to file charges. Jay finally gets to leave 3 hours and a half after his shift was supposed to end. Poor guy. It must have been a tough day for him. Over 6 years with the organization and always had great reviews and raises. Then a CEO retires and a replacement wants to clean the house. The decent thing to do is just to be upfront, promise a decent reference, and let someone go. But in my state, that means they would have to pay unemployment, and she does not want that. So she wants to either make people quit or fire them for cause. Full-blown harassment ensues. I sent a quick email to a co-worker along the lines of, "Hey, this will come across your desk. Can you let me know when you get it?" And the boss calls to say the tone of my email, yes, she is monitoring my emails, was rude. I asked for clarification, what part was rude? Went through practically word for word. Was this word rude? Please help me see where I went wrong. She finally said it was more what was not in the message. We finally arrived at the mail that was lacking fluff, like Happy Tuesday and I hope you are well. So I wrote a follow-up email to my boss. Thank you so much for taking your valuable time to explain to me that I need more fluff in my emails. By the way, that red sweater you were wearing really looked great on Zoom. I flubbed the heck out of that email. I talked about the weather and my dog and I sucked up to her with a sarcastic undertone in every way imaginable. It was so satisfying. This brief story was told to me by my sister-in-law the other day. Jenny works at a store and when she gets to work she has to punch in and put her coat in the staff area at the back of the store. She was coming in for the closing shift, walking in from the parking lot in her jean jacket when she encountered a guy near the entrance wearing his mask and a chin warmer and leaning over this poor woman's shoulder, pointing at something on a shelf. Jenny asked him on her way to keep a safe distance and pull up his mask. He got belligerent and said she couldn't tell him that she didn't work there. Jenny saw her manager approaching over this guy's shoulder and she replied that yes, she did work there, and her shift started in 5 minutes. If he didn't want to follow the rules posted on the door, he could get out. The guy glared at her and she held her ground and sweetly asked him if he needed help finding the door. He rolled his eyes and pulled up his mask. Jenny's manager stood back and gave her a silent round of applause and then an elbow bump as she passed on her way to the staff room.
And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.